morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy Monday. I'm trying to find what background needs to have one today. Yeah, this. Turn it down a little bit. I was going to say, you don't want me to turn you down? Like, it was like, no, I'm standing right here at this volume. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Don D. Good morning, Ro. Are we IG friends? Because I couldn't find you. Because I was trying to send you the pictures the other night while you were on Wiz's show of a leopard and a super leopard, and how, like, literally, how I mark them, how I can tell them easily different. They're probably one of the few morphs I actually can tell differently, without, like, instantly. So I had circled that for you and sent it to Wiz, because I couldn't find you on IG. I thought I had you on IG. I have you on everything else, TikTok and all that, where I can see pictures. Good morning, bro. It was so good seeing the fan. Actually, hold on. I got the picture here. I believe one of them.
Oh, that's right. I saw all y'all got together.
Yay!
Oh.
So the funny story is, since Daytona, we have been within miles of each other a couple times and did not get the chance to see each other. So it was like, even last year he was here in the area for the cookout, but couldn't make it to the cookout.
Yeah.
So I had these shirts, which was the first Clutch t-shirts that I had made for my YouTube channel members.
Mm-hmm.
Took them to Daytona because I was so turned in Daytona, that was before, I was getting as turned. That
was a fun trip.
Right. That was right. So I was turned to Daytona. Forgot to give them the shirts while we was there. Fly the shirts back. We go to Atlanta with these shirts. Forgot to get the shirts when we was in Atlanta because we never met up with them in Atlanta. So I told my husband, I said, you know what? Before anything else go in this car, these shirts is going in this car, because it's like over a year later and they're finally getting them. So It was so good to see them and see Keisha, because we had, like I said, it's been since Daytona. So we get to see them again though soon. Daytona is right around the corner. Woo, woo, woo.
God.
I'm
jealous. I want to go so bad. I'm not seeing a way that I can make it work.
Right.
For a weekend? I don't know.
Yeah.
We're going out of town in a couple of weeks. So
it's so much going on. Our anniversary is the end of the third week of this month. And then again, we have Daytona, and then I have the cancer walk right after Daytona. Speaking of, if you haven't donated, I need y'all to donate. I'll post the link again later. But yeah, so it's like back to back. But I said, like, Daytona for me has to happen. And then the thing is also I got 2 clutches that they're going to be pipping right before, like the day before, or while we are in Daytona. Because like my clutches, they pip like on cycle 58 days. That's when you're going to see the first one. And one of them is going to be the berm clutch. Yeah. So
that's exciting.
It's very exciting, but it's going to stress me out being in Daytona, but I gotta go. So it's gonna be one of them times where if one of them pip, Michael actually wouldn't know what to do. Like I could walk him through it. I just like it for that part to be me. So hopefully that doesn't happen while we're there, or it happens right before, or the eggs are dimpled enough for me to cut before, because I would rather cut them, let them crawl out. I know Michael can handle them from that point. And then July the 20th is Gettysburg. Of course, we'll be vending with Gettysburg with the remaining available animals I have from last year. And only 2 of them are retics. Actually, still might be one. I'm still kind of dancing around holding the other one back. So, but as of right now, 2 of the remaining retakes, which is the Mochino Motley Sunfire and the Albino Motley Golden Child, are available. So, yeah. today's show. Let's get into it. And this comes up from watching a lot of different videos on TikTok, YouTube conversations. Very specifically, was struck. My thought on this, Morgan, was from TikTok the other day, and someone had made a comment about. Wait a minute, hold on before I go into that, because I gotta come back. Give me a second, y'all.
I love how I get a lot of ideas for videos and stuff and topics for this from Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, I think mine's come from the, or it will trigger a thought like, this would be a good topic for us to elaborate on, right? Mm-hmm. Or sometimes it's just honestly, like when you come out, with one of the topics and it's like, okay, yeah, this is a really good one for us to elaborate on it.
Go through some of my, I had one video get like, it's just under like 900,000 views. And the comments under that one specifically, I went through a lot of them last night. I could make a lot of content just from those comments.
So it's so funny because I guess like I can honestly say thank goodness, because y'all know my patience is limited. I don't get a lot of instances like that, where I have to deal with like comments.
I usually do not engage that much. If I do, half of the time I'm just trolling. But other people come in the comments and kind of fight for me, and I'm just sitting back like, she's right, you're wrong, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, so that's what I was getting ready to say. And if it does happen, normally it's everybody else who's doing the communicating for me.
Yes.
I do like occasionally when it does happen, and I tell people all the time, like I'm the queen of shade. Like I can because professionally in my profession, I used to do what I call professionally assassinate people on a daily basis. Like, you say what you need to say very directly, but to the extent where no one can say that you verbally abuse them and you can lose your job. So I was really good at saying what I had to say, using very tactful words where no one can ever say, you heard what the hell I said, but I didn't say what the hell I said. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, 5 weeks away. Keys, yes. So Bosa, if you're in the chat, and Elias, one day in this lifetime, y'all gonna get y'all shirts too. I just need to I don't go to the post office. I check my P.O. box like every 6 months. The people be like emailing me, ma'am, you got something in your P.O. box. Unless somebody say I'm sending something, but most people, when they sending something to me, it's of value to them. So they send it directly to my address via FedEx or something like that. So it's very rare that I even have to go, but
I have a P.O. box and I haven't checked it in about 6 weeks.
I mean, so the main reason why I got the P.O. box, shout out to GP. So when Gershon first started his podcast and stuff like that, it was around the time that I first started establishing Lady T's Exotics as a business. So one of the things that my husband is very funny about, like if y'all notice, like on videos and stuff like that, he doesn't want our license plate numbers or anything like that, our cars and stuff like that. So you normally see half of a door or some shit like that. But I think the only exception he made to that, and even then I think the license plates was kind of prop, was the red line video I did. Like we used both our cars for that video, and so that was the exception that he made. But he's very weird like that. Not weird. I mean, I'm just not like, I'm the person who's kind of like, if you come here and you ain't supposed to be here, it is what it is.
It's gonna be on you. Right. Whatever happens, it's gonna happen.
More like, don't make me do it. So let's be proactive and not reactive. So I just really, really just, I don't know, how can I say it? All right, I'll say it this way. I'm really, really big on not having people enter in, but I'm very entering. You can enter in through social media type of thing. So I'm very, very open on social media. In person, I'm a whole lot more reclusive, which a lot of people don't expect that from me because, you know, I'm so open on social media.
I'm so introverted, and people do not, since I'm on social media, everyone thinks that I'm extroverted and outgoing. I am not. I will, like, somebody comes and knocks on my door, I'm not answering it. Most of the time, like, I will be like, you don't belong here.
Exactly. And that's my thing. So if you're a person who just shows up, and I just feel like if you want to smoke, you get to smoke. But I get his position too. And like I said, our lifestyles were different. So I get that. But yeah, I think that hope to see everybody at Daytona. But until then, our topic today, euthanasia. So this came up from TikTok.
Okay.
And someone was having, it was a group of ball python breeders on there, and they were having conversations about it's just the normal. And about you can't like devaluing the animal's life based on the fact that it's a normal python. So it just struck to me like with dogs, we seem to literally go through a process of, we don't let our dogs go into, you know, like the doctor got to pretty much say, damn it, the dog is already dead, lady. Just, you know, let the dog go. Where humans will let a dog go. Like euthanasia is not the first thing. And dogs, believe it or not, dogs, horses, like larger animals, all the animals that benefits the most, if that's the right word to use, from euthanasia. Because typically, a horse breaks his leg, it's no good to himself or mentally, you know, to himself or to life. And so therefore, horses are naturally euthanized, I think probably more than any other animals, with a natural thought to do it.
Well, their death would be so painful, and agonizing.
Exactly. But we don't use that same mentality when it comes to our reptiles, right? So, like, literally, the process with Rocco was literally, I said to my husband, if there was anything that they could do for him when we got here, we was going to do it. No matter how much it was going to cost, that was not even a thought. I didn't even look. It was going to get done. Good morning. Good seeing them too. So I just think that people will go through that process of, I'll pay whatever it needs to be paid to keep my dog alive, which you should. You should. But we don't give that same thought to our reptiles. And it's somehow like some embarrassing as a community when you're on public platforms. Because there are a lot of people we sell normals, you know, like for me, the value of a life of a normal is that it lives here until it's sold. Now, is it probably not sold at a premium? No, you know, but I've sold some normals with some really good hets to it, you know, that to someone who may want to get into breeding, it can be beneficial to them down the line. My thing is that I don't look at that animal, the normal, no differently than I look at any other animal that comes out that egg when it comes to the survival of it. But a lot of other people do. And then it's this process and a mindset of putting the animal down because the animal is not the animal that I wanted. And that's one of the reasons why you should. Go ahead, Morgan.
I don't know if this is like in the direction you were heading, but you were saying how, you know, we don't give that same respect to reptiles. You know, they're not, you know, all that. I think a lot of it is reptiles will hide what's wrong with them almost until it's too late a lot of the times. So I don't know if people don't see that their animal is sick or needs help or whatever. I don't know. But then you have another group of people that think, oh, reptiles cannot show affection, things like that. Therefore, it's just another animal and they can be discarded and you can just get another one. Oh, this animal died. Well, here's another one down the street. You can just go get that one. And just let it pass or whatever. There's several different mentalities when it comes to like why reptiles might not be shown that same respect in humanely euthanizing. But then you have another group of people that will, like what you're saying, like normal ball pythons and things. There's some people that think of those as feeder snakes and use them to feed their snakes that eat other snakes, that kind of thing. I saw a video over the weekend where this guy was feeding a normal worm to a cobra, and they didn't think anything of it. They were like, well, it's just a normal.
And see, that's my thing. My thing is that now when you breed animals, I will say, and I'll say to anybody, there's a benefit of having a water monitor. If an animal is born dead, if an egg is going bad, if an animal is born deformed and there is no viability in the animal, if an animal does not thrive, and even with that, if an animal does not thrive, at what point of it not thriving, what does that look like for people? Because an animal that's not gaining weight doesn't mean that it's not going to thrive. Someone actually gifted me a really nice animal about 2 years ago, a very reputable breeder. And that animal did not gain like weight like for that first year. Although it would eat, it would never graduate to the next meal. That animal now is a beast at eating, and it's one of the largest animals that, I have at that age. So sometimes I think people rush to judgment to say, well, this animal has no value to me today. Good morning, Hugh. Today. And because that animal has no value of me today, I will dispose of that animal today. I do see whereas like when people who breed and you have animals who die, that's the animal that is, I'm okay with that being fed to a cobra if you can do that. I can tell you that there are certain snakes in here, if they died, they still couldn't be fed. Like
I mean, I have my king snake back here that absolutely would eat another snake, and I plan on it. So I have these black racer eggs. If any of them are not viable, I'm gonna try to feed them to king snake. I have no problem with that. It happens in the wild, but intentionally feed it, like just with the mentality of, okay, this is a normal. There's nothing special about it. I can't make money off of this, so I'm going to discard it as food. That's, in my opinion, is wrong. There's plenty of different ways to feed your cobra or other animals like that than taking a healthy animal.
Yeah, and there's enough animals who naturally die, for those people who have, because a cobra has to eat, right? And they do they prefer, that type of food. But there's enough animals, and this is another thing. I don't understand why breeders who do have animals die, instead of if you don't have a way to properly like dispose of it, if you don't have that water monitor or something like that you can feed it off to, or cremate it. As like I said, some of my animals will be cremated. If the Shala died today, she will be cremated and on a mantle, okay? She will not be fed to nobody, not cut up, not frozen, nothing. So it's certain animals, like pets, I just couldn't do that with. Now, there are animals that, like the other day, when the berm had those eggs that were not viable, those eggs we fed off. The water monitor loves those eggs. He loves them. So if animal has a baby, and
before,
I haven't had the
and I really want to
drive at all yet. I have not had that yet. Me personally. But if I did and the animal died on its own, then yeah, I would probably feed that off to something else. But I'm not going to just look at an animal and say it's not the genetic makeup that I requested from the odds gods and freeze it and or feed it off. That is just not okay. It will never be okay. and anybody who hear it like I did in that TikTok chat, I'm like, please, that's not publicly. If that's what you're doing, display that that's what you're doing. That is just hideous, and that's not something that we want to put out there to the people who don't know better.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Pat. Hey, nephew.
I agree. This came from an account that I followed, I liked, but
thank you, nephew.
Seeing others like just kind of discard life the way that they do, it's just not it. If people did that with like dogs or cats or whatever, and just, oh, I have this pet pig, let me feed these kittens to it. Everybody would be in an uproar.
Yeah, I think also it's unfortunate that many people display it, right? Like, okay, no one saw the video, although y'all knew that those monitor eggs were going to go to, those sperm babies were going to go, well, they were not babies, so sperms that were not viable. When she laid the eggs, it was going to go to the water monitor. I don't have to record that and put it on display. I think that other part of it is like, we know certain things happen naturally, but we got to keep in mindset, us keeping these animals is not all that natural either. You know what I mean?
Right. So Hugh has a good point. He said, unfortunately, that is comparable to those of us who raise rats for feeders. People that have rats as pets look at me the same way.
To me, that's different. That's totally different. Yeah. So for me, that rat is the only source of food for that particular animal. So the chicks or whatever we feed is the only source of food for that animal. There's no other source of food for that animal. And if I have to purchase food for those animals, if me as a breeder, let's use me as an example. If I have to feed those animals, I have to buy. That's the only food I can buy to feed.
Okay, so that makes sense. So if it'd be different, it's not like you have rats that you're making money off of. You're not looking at one rat thing saying, oh, you're special, you can remain alive. You have, nothing special about you, so I'm going to discard you because I can't make money off of you. The rats are being specifically bred with the intention of feeding them.
Exactly. It's not a choice decision. And even then, it's hard. Like,
it is hard. It sucks.
And I would tell you,
I had a harder time.
That are never fed.
I had a harder time feeding rats off. Mice, I just did not care for mice.
Eric.
But rats were hard. Rats were really sweet to keep.
Because they smart.
Interactive, very social. I couldn't do it. I got out of it. Now I just buy everything frozen.
How do you ladies feel about the iguanas being taken out in Florida with pellet guns? So let me just talk about that. And if y'all saw the day that my berm laid eggs, the father of that berm was from the Everglades. We got him probably 3 months before July when they shut it down, where you couldn't ship them out anymore. The breeder was able to ship it to a breeder here in Virginia, and we was able to go pick them up from there. Big Meech is now the father, and that is for me, that was, y'all remember when I got that berm, how emotional I was about that berm. He was actually a baby who was he was still attached to his egg sac when they found this clutch of burns, and taken from the mom, shipped out. He's very unique, but he was the sweetest animal from the moment I got him. Couldn't nobody believe he was a wild caught animal at all. The sweetest, still one of the sweetest animals in his house to this day. So the same thing about the iguanas. There are a lot of people who would love to just have those iguanas. Let people catch them and ship them out. If you, as a state of Florida, want a premium on that, people would pay that premium. If you catch a berm out in the Everglades and I want it, and you say it's a $75 premium on top of the cost that you paying this breeder to export or whatever the case may be, I would pay that if I want that animal. I think that's my issue. My issue is not what they're trying to do to eradicate what they call an ecosystem problem. It's the thought of the devaluing of the life of the animals, whether it's iguana or whether it's a berm. Treat them. Florida doesn't do that to alligators, who are way more evasive. I don't care they eat people occasionally. So
yeah, they're a lot more dangerous, and they're everywhere. When I was there, they were everywhere. I didn't see any snakes. I didn't see any iguanas. Alligators are everywhere. If there is a puddle and you can't see if it's muddy, if it's a muddy puddle, assume there's an alligator in it.
Right.
Like that's the rule that I have friends that have grown up there. That's the rule. If you can't see the bottom, assume there's an alligator in it. And like I said, like they're a lot more dangerous. I get that they're not.
Good morning, Chris.
Native, but.
Well, I mean, but so that's my thing. My thing is that Chris, if your only concern is the fact that you don't want them there, you can make a lucrative income for your state by exporting them to places where they, are wanted and would not be able to thrive in the wild. So
right, rescue them, put them in have a whole iguana farm.
It makes no sense. Who says, so are the normal balls for the cobras? They aren't breeding the feeder snakes for anything but feeders. Still a parallel comparison.
If they're feeding them, if they're breeding them for feeders, that is the same thing. And as much as I don't like it,
they're not breeding them for feed, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm not saying that this is, as a person who breeds snakes, I think that there is an unnecessary market to breed snakes just to feed cobras. All right, because there's enough animals who die naturally across this country who are born every single day that we can freeze them, bag them, and ship them out to the king cobra keepers. Mm-hmm. So there's no reason for anyone to actually be breeding just to do that. But to your point, my issue, let's say if someone did do that, if someone bred snakes to just like serve a particular king cobra farm, that to me is totally different. Their intent is to breed these snakes to serve all of them going to die. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but you know what I'm saying? That's their mentality. All of them going to die. I'm talking about people who literally look at a clutch of eggs or a clutch of anything, embryos, or not clutch of eggs, but actual viable animals, like boas actually have live birth, whatever it is. Looking at a clutch of anything and say, you're worthy, you're not. You're worthy. That's my issue. My issue is if someone had a farm where all they did was breed snakes to feed snakes, I don't have an issue with that. Because that person, I mean, I would have an issue. I think that there's no reason to do it, but if that's what they did as a business, I ain't knocking your hustle. But all of them animals are being bred for that purpose. He is not selectively, or she is not selectively choosing one life over another based on genetics. That's kind of like how we can say, as a Black woman or Black man in America, we felt for years that white people would just knock us off because we were black. That's how, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that's equivalent to that thought process. I'm picking Morgan because she's a white girl over a black girl, and I'm going to take her out. Like, that's what I mean. That's selective. That's what it is. When you're picking over genetics, one life is not valued more than the other. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's the point.
That's the point.
Hey, Bosa.
Eric said, my Florida berm just keeps trying to kiss me, and not in a nice way.
Give him a kiss back.
Here, who was it? Sick with it. When I got one of my ultra male babies from him, he was like, I'm telling you now, he hot. He coming over there, he's striking, he biting. I got that animal never struck once. He was like, that's because you like the mama of the snakes. Like, you just started talking to him all nicely, and this snake has never struck at me. But when a breeder tells you the snake coming hot, the snake has struck all day, every day. So I was expecting the snake to just be crazy when it got here. It never struck at me once. So I was telling you.
That's how June is, the golden child that I have. The breeder was like, yeah, she's feisty. She's going to get you. She get me. She's fine. She's a baby.
Right. Here we agree. I agree with their mindset. The part that I disagree with is killing them. There's no point when there is a whole slew of people around the world who would love for them to export those animals, and they will pay the fee.
Right. If they're exported out of their home country or area to be brought here, then they can be taken out the same way. And it's not like iguanas are. I mean, an iguana's not going to kill you. Basically, you
said
that's true. Put it on a farm.
Who said that's money over substance argument? Then greed always went out in there. That's America. This is America.
Yeah, but see, that could be a whole series. This is America. Right. You know, they did This Is Us. They did that whole show. This Is Us. They should do This Is America.
Exactly.
It'd be more depressing.
Oh my God. No, here, look, like I said, you made a couple great points. I definitely understand what you're saying. Definitely understand. That's funny though, but that's America. You can't ever fight with that. And that's the sad thing is that, and that's what makes America different from any other country. A lot of countries stand on principle and morals. We do not.
We will say it's principle and morals. We will say it's principle and morals, and it's not.
And it's money.
Never. Yes. They're going to throw the Bible in your face and say,
the damn truth.
Yes.
Oh my God. Thank you. See, Bosa got me. So y'all, right here is the link to my 3-day Boston event. If you can just kindly click that note, look, any amount helps me to qualify. And it goes directly to Susan G. Komen. So if you can just help me get to that goal, if you can share it on your personal pages. Look, breast cancer, like I said, the one thing that you're all going to experience, whether it's personally or someone in your family, that's just a fact. Statistically, if you have 3 people in your house, 1 out of those 3 people is going to experience breast cancer, and that includes men. I walk with a lot of men who have fought breast cancer, or men who are no longer here who had breast cancer. So don't think you are immune to it, because your little boobies are boobies too. Or in case some of y'all big boobies are boobies too. Where's Dre? Don't get me started on this America show. I'll be all in. Look, you know what? If it wasn't for people being so sensitive, it's a topic that I definitely want to talk about right now. I mean, I'm going to touch on it right now. We're not going to go into it. But the big conversation of whether or not Joe Biden should step down. Listen, if that was my daddy, I will remind him how rich we are, and you don't have to go to work tomorrow. Like, please do us a favor. If you're watching, listen. Look. At this point, call your daddy and tell him y'all already. It's no reason to show up for work. I was in his position before. All I wanted to know is how much they was going to pay me. You know what I mean? I have exit stage left because there's no point of me showing up here anymore.
Right.
Tell him to do it. Like, I know he got choices. I know he might have goals and things like that, but it is time. All right, I'm going to leave that one alone. Don't y'all get mad at me. I love Joe Biden. Woo woo. I was a fan, and I'm still a fan. That's why I want him to go and get his rest. If it was my mama or my dad.
Younger Joe Biden.
Yes. Right now, he is at that stage where you would not let your grandmother drive by herself. And y'all know that.
Yes.
Y'all know that.
But he's running the country.
But he's running the goddamn country. Y'all see, I love this.
This is America.
There's a button in there. He can run off codes and shit. He can get seen out and forget what he was doing. He can think he playing Grand Theft Auto or some Modern Warfare and start just putting out codes. And next thing you know, we at war. Look, I need this not to even be an argument. So I just need where's his wife? She's very wise. She's a beautiful woman. Can you tell her? Look, it's sometimes as a wife, we gotta babe, you can't do this one. It's time. It's time.
Oh God.
I'm sorry. But if I had to do a whole topic on it, like I'm telling y'all, it stresses me out. I can't watch none of the debates because it's so heart-wrenching. It's like watching.
It is. I stopped watching interviews and stuff with him. The last one I watched, mid-sentence, he was like, I'm going to go take a nap. It's like, I feel you on that, but I'm also not president. So it's sad.
Good morning, Jamie. Step down, please. We beg of thee. Look, I'm not a big Kamala Harris fan, but I promise you, she's sharp on it. She'll at least be sharp on it. Y'all might have to teach her something about some foreign affairs, but she's sharp on it. And she's been in position to do it. You know what I mean? But we can't. It's his best friend should be calling him. Who's his best friend now? He died. That was Colin Powell, wasn't it? Whoever. Someone should be calling him and tell him no. Who said that's the greed for power and privilege? That's why he won't drop out. But come on. You did it. You wanted to be president. You did that. You ain't do shit while you was there, but that's okay. That's not for me to judge. Not for me to judge.
It's going to be an interesting year. Or I guess rest of the year.
I'm sorry. People would say he has done things. He has signed things that we don't know about. So I'm going to take that back. Yes. You're right. I don't know about them. So that's why the perception to me. But at this particular point, I'm concerned about the fact that we would not, exactly what I said, just like we would not let a felon run for or get an apartment or get a job, but he can run for president. We would not let our grandmother, who was senile, run the country either. At this particular point, I don't care if it's two crackheads from North and Southwest DC. They are sharper. The crackheads are sharper than the two people we got up for.
Right. That's what I understand. So a convicted felon cannot vote for president, but a convicted felon can run for president.
Right, nephew. It ain't even funny anymore. It's not okay. It's not okay. Right, Hugh. I can't. At this particular point, it could be, hey, Hugh, it could be me and you. I don't know shit about foreign affairs. I can't help y'all. I would need an assistant just for that. But I can do better. I bet you I can make better decisions, better power moves, and all of that. I just need someone to teach me, when they come up with that foreign affairs, what does this mean? Interpret this, because I'm not even reading through all of that. Because that's another thing about that job that I always say people don't realize. That's why I was never a fan of just voting for somebody based on race. No, don't get me wrong. Obama was qualified. He knew that he studied. He was in politics for a long time. But I was not a fan of just voting for somebody for that reason, because you need someone who knows that shit. And foreign affairs is the most important part of being a president, in my opinion. It's not about how to run a budget. Most of us did that at some point, paying a cable bill, paying Verizon. You know what I'm saying? You have regular life experience in that. But to run a whole system and have to have the intelligence of what not to say, what to do, how to, like, even with Trump, you know, he made mistakes on, you know, his etiquette. Like, no one told him no different. I can't blame the man. No one told him no different. I'm gonna need that person to say, Nicole, when you get off this plane, you can't just cut people out because they'll lock your black and you will be in here forever. Okay, I need that. I need someone to tell them, you know, look, you might need to tell me you can't take the vape on a plane. I don't want to be like my girl over in Russia, just locked up for a daggone vape. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much that people need to know about foreign affairs before you step into that seat. And I think as Americans, when Kanye was going to run, everybody was like, vote for Kanye. What? Imagine Kanye having a conversation with the president or the ambassador from China. Like, come on. He been pissed one of them off in a heartbeat. We are in war. No.
That would be an interesting that'd be an interesting thing to watch. I'd watch it.
My nephew said I don't want Joe pouring his own hot drinks. I'm dead serious, y'all. I know we don't normally go here on this channel, but it's hilarious at this point. I need someone to call their father and tell them, Dad, that's it. It's a wrap. We don't need a White House. We got a big old house in Delaware. We don't need a White House. The president can't do shit. Congress hold the purse strings. They are the ones who aren't doing their job. So yeah, but I will say this: when we say that, the president has way more power when it comes to like the stuff I'm concerned about, like foreign affairs. What he signs off on is important. But yes, you're right. Congress is really where the power stands for sure. He said, "I'm down. Let's throw our hat in the ring." I mean, at this point, look, I can put on a suit and make it sound real good. Look, y'all, just sit. Somebody pass me the notes. Pass me the notes. I got everything else covered. But when they start talking about foreign affairs, somebody pass me the notes, and I'm gonna act. I can act like put the teleprompter up there. I can act like I know what the hell I'm talking about. But I'm going to need an assistant just for that. Hey, Elias, good morning, bro. He was a New Yorker after all. Attitude is natural in that circumstance. True that. So, you know, I told the story. This is the honest to God truth, and I don't care what nobody think. I'm not one of the people that you can bully into having an opinion that relates to yours, okay? I am me. I stand on what I believe every day, any moment, okay? So here goes. The first time around, I voted for Trump because I wanted a businessman in office, and I was absolutely right. Having a businessman in office was absolutely the best decision that we had at that particular time because financially we were better. And I don't give a damn who don't want to admit that. Financially we're better. Where he failed me and I wouldn't dare vote for him the second time around was the man was the most hateful person we could have put in that office. And he was so disrespectful. And the image of presidency is not what we had as a child. He was more off the chain than I was. Like, and a president's supposed to have poise. So it was no way I was going to vote for him the second time. But at the same time, I felt the same way about Obama. I voted for him the first time. The second time, it was no way I was going to vote for him either. So my thing is that we take politics based on people. I don't. I look at what you're going to bring to the table. I could care less what you look like, if you're yellow, green, or whatever. My livelihood as a person who lived a better life making 40 grand a year than she did at making 180 grand a year, I am going to tell you that I can care less about what you look like. I want to know what you can bring to the table. How do you run your household? That's one of the things that I respected about Obama when he first came in first term. But then the second term, I felt like people got so hooked up to him, his swag and all that. I don't give a fuck about his swag when my taxes are being raised. Like, I'm not interested in that. So for me, I think this time around, where we dealing with the two people we have in office, is a reflection of us making poor decisions in the past. We don't have the quality in life, period. I think our presidency is a reflection of how the world has changed a lot. But what I won't stand for is having a senile man or a criminal running the country, unless you want to allow every other criminal get an apartment. Because I worked many years in property management when people were denied because they did a crime 10, 15 years ago that they did time for. So, in my opinion, we are in a, what they say, in a Chit's Creek without a paddle. But we need him to step down immediately. Call him. It's got to be stressful because no matter what you decide, you're going to piss off 50% of the people. Darren, that is absolutely true. Good morning, Carissa. Good morning, Fred. How are you? I don't give a damn about foreign affairs at this point when they talking about taking my rights away. So my thing is that not to minimize people's rights, right? But they take our rights away every day, one way, shape, or form. Like, I'm not, at the end of the day, what can get us blown up is foreign affairs. So that's why foreign affairs is more important to me. My individual right to do this or my individual right to do that, Elias, you know how I feel. I'm going to do what the hell I'm going to do anyway. That's my right to do it. No one can give you, I made a post about it the other day. No one can give you the right to do anything that you want to do. That's not what America really is going to be about for me. Like, I'm going to do what the hell I want to do. That's my life. America didn't give me that. Keisha, good morning. If you run for president, the fish people are going to be against you. Somebody's always going to be damn astute. I wear my overalls and hard hat. I know who makes the world turn. I know that's right here, and that's the truth.
It comes down to it. Like, we don't have any good options.
No, not at all. But there are. I will tell you this: that man. I'd rather have the criminal who can at least be swift on his. You got to give him credit. He's swift on his feet and his tongue. Than having. I just think it's humiliating for Mr. Biden at this time, for President Biden. It is so humiliating. I can't watch none of it because it's like I said, it's like watching your senile grandmother.
Right, it's humiliating for him, but to have Trump in office would be humiliating for the country as a whole. Neither way, it's humiliating.
There's no way that he should even be able to run at this point. Other countries didn't threaten us then either, though. It's a balance and Joe don't have. So because, all right. Like, the reason why I would be good for president is because that hood quality in people works. Like, I'm telling you, corporate America is a bunch of gangsters. It's a bunch of gangsters. Yes. You got to be able to pop your shit. And Trump was able to do that. You got to give him credit for that. And the fact that money, power, and respect. He came into office with that. He lost respect becoming president. He came into office with the money, the power, and the respect. So around the country, when the other people in countries were the bullies, we then ended up with the bully. We had the bully. The bully was here with us. So he was the one who actually was the one now, the big kahuna. But everything else, every single thing else about him just went down the drain. At this point, I'm going to run for president. 10% off any reptile. No tax for reptile owners. That's what we need.
Bozo for president. Can we get a shirt that says that?
Reptiles.
I need to try this with Bosa for president.
Bosa, if Bosa run for president, you will win. Listen, you got the whole reptile community behind you. You got the state of Florida. You got the Hispanic community, including the Nicaraguans that you won't go back and visit.
I'm gonna plan a trip over there, and Bosa's gonna be my tour guide.
Oh shit! I'm telling you, Bosa, if there was anybody who could do it, you got that spiritual background we need. Bosa for president, y'all. That's it. Bosa for president. Bosa, you can do it at this particular point. Shit, remember the guy D's Nuts? He wrote his name on a ballot. Do y'all remember that? So I didn't know.
What are we talking about?
So I didn't know just anybody could write their name on the ballot. All right, who else didn't know that? That just anybody could write their name? So remember when the guy D's Nuts? I think it was the second term that Trump ran in. D's Nuts was he entered the race. I mean, of course he didn't qualify, but he entered the race. I'm a running mate. I'll pull in that poll vote. I'm telling you, them niggas play. I can't. Bosa for president, man. Let me tell you, Bosa. We need a Bosa in the office. We need a Bosa in the office. You should strongly consider it. At this point, we can sway the people. I just need religion out of all this shit. Bosa for president. Free Jack Daniels at the pool. You can't see, Elias. You can't remove religion. You can't. I just think that people have to not interpret religion for just the ways that it's advantageous to themselves. If you remove, that's one of the problems where we struggle now. Like, if you remove religion, it's a problem. I'm telling you, and I'm a person who believes when you removed it from places, even school, you got a different child today. I grew up in that era where we prayed in school. I grew up in that area where we pledged the allegiance and then we sang the Star Spangled Banner and all of that. I really, really see the reflection of the quality of the kid that did not have that experience. I think the problem we have as Christians, or whoever you want to call yourself, is that the same person who think that you're going to die for being homosexual and go to hell is the same people who don't realize that God talked more about fornication that every motherfucking body has done at some point in their day. I ain't gonna say everybody, maybe a 0.5% of people didn't, but no one talks about fornication, and God talks about that way more than he talks about anything else. That's my problem with religion. People will pick out those parts that only applies to the other person.
Right, but they all do it. There's been a lot of stuff taken out of the Bibles. I will say I had this conversation multiple times in the last week. I've seen all this stuff happen in Louisiana and Oklahoma with things being forced in the school. If that gets forced in Mississippi, I will homeschool my kids. I will put my house up for sale. I'm not sending my kids where
I think
Christianity as a whole is forced upon my children.
So this is the thing. So I think that y'all come from an era that y'all never experienced how that worked. Nothing was forced. Right,
but having all that stuff like posted on the walls and stuff.
Well, no, it wasn't that either for us. So for us,
right,
it was right after before you did the Star Spangled Banner. We did a universal prayer in school,
right?
Because you have children in there. Number one, that you wanted to pray for their safety.
Mm-hmm.
If you were Jehovah's Witness, for example, when prayer time came, you didn't participate. But for everybody else who wanted to, that was a very, very great start of a day for them. So I say to anybody,
for them, yes. But when you have other people with different religions, it's uncomfortable.
So it's not different religions. So that's the thing. The thing is that, see, like I said, you had to experience that time. So
I grew up it was like that in the 90s. And I grew up that way, and my parents were Christians, but I still found it uncomfortable for myself to have administration saying, okay, let us pray. And I'm just sitting there like, Okay. Now, if I were a different religion, that would make me even more uncomfortable because you're specifying one religion.
Well, no, prayer time was prayer time. So if you was Muslim, let me tell you what I love about it. I learned 5 rakahs in the 2nd grade because when I would pray, my Muslim friend prayed.
Yeah. Now, if you have like a prayer time to where everybody can do their own thing, but if it's administration or teacher led, that I have a problem with that. When
I have a problem with. I don't want anybody leading. I don't go to church because I don't believe in a lot of the leadership in churches. So I agree with that. But my thing is that we can't allow we can't say, and I'm just going to keep it candid, I don't want religion in there, but it's okay to teach other stuff in there. That's a problem too. I don't think that kids should be learning anything if that's the case, but how to do math, how to read, and all of that. So we can't. So this is what I'm saying with that application of when it's for me. We can't say it's okay to teach she, he, she, and all that other stuff. Because my children, and I'm very verbal about that, are raised in households where there are boys and girls. Now they might have images of, like my sister, who's a girl who looks like a boy, but they know that's still Aunt Sheila, right? But
I think a lot of that it's not as much teacher led as it is being socially discussed and things like that. You go into Barnes and Noble and you see it. You get on YouTube, you're going to see it. Kids are going to talk about it. I have yet to see. So my kids one of my oldest kids has learned a little bit about it, but it's all been through friends and YouTube and things like that. It hasn't been through.
Oh, I agree with that, Elias. So if y'all don't know, like I've studied 2 religions. I can sit right here and I can quote the Al-Fatiha for you. I'm not saying that it has to be one religion. I don't think that one religion applies to. There are some people who are from Africa who would have never known certain parts of Africa, who would never know anything but Islam. There's some people in Africa who would never know anything but Christianity. So I don't believe in picking a religion, whatever it is you're believing. If you don't have one, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that, like, to the point that me and Morgan was just touching on, and to what I was saying earlier, I don't think in any instance the problem that I have is that we are for the stuff that we're for, but not for the stuff that doesn't apply to us. And I think that's hypocritical either way. So for me, and I can speak to myself, and Elias, you know how I feel about this. I don't want my grandkids taught anything about sexuality, whether it's hetero or homo, in school. I don't want anything given to them except for what's been given to them, he or she. That's how I feel. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm going to pull my kids, I'm going to tell my daughter to pull my grandkids out of school if they choose to teach them in school. Their foundation start at home. That's what I'm saying. So we can't say, that's okay, and then say religion is not. That's where my problem comes in.
Right.
So
if somebody wants to... If one of my kids wants to go to school and say, okay, I'm going to pray, I'm going to do this, great. If another child says, I don't want to do this, that's great. But what's happening in Louisiana and Oklahoma is they're posting all of the Christian propaganda and stuff on the walls. It's wrong in my opinion, and then it will only just go downhill from there. That's nuts. I wouldn't tolerate that as a mother, sending my kids to schools where that's going to be the norm.
Darren, I can't. Yeah, I mean, and that's, as a Christian, that's one of the reasons why I don't step foot in many. First of all, let me tell you,
it's all about money. They're businesses, and it's all about money and greed.
It's ATMs in some of these churches in the aisle. So when you used to go to church and you play broke, oh no, just swipe your card now. The whole hip hop preacher, and I'm not talking about singing gospel hip hop like Kirk Franklin do. I think that is required to get to certain people if you want them to get the message. But I'm talking about the whole. You can't be both. I'm sorry, you can't be the LA rapper and the preacher at the same time. For me, I'm sorry. Preachers to me are people who are called for real, which means that they are on a whole nother level. Don't sit there and tell me, but he's human. Fuck that. He's supposed to be superhuman. That's why he's the one that God chose. Jesus was human. Like, so don't give me that. So that's why I don't step foot. The churches that I once knew don't exist. That whole, you worrying about who the preacher's sleeping with? Like, I'm not doing all of that in church, okay? Because I will, the whole church will go down, okay? For Mr. Tisdale, okay? All y'all, all the nuns, nurses, everything, like all the ushers, everything. So no, I don't even play with church because I think it's so much hypocritical stuff there. And I'll even talk about the ones like who they don't want homosexuality in the church unless that's who paying the money. And I hate that too, because you don't agree with homosexuality, but if that man has or that woman has a public reputation that's going to bring you that traffic you want, you will put them on display. We peep that too. So that's what I'm talking about. I don't like that hypocritical stuff at all, whether it's in favor of what I feel or think, or if it's on favor with somebody else feels or think. Because I'll say again, fornication, according to the Bible, we are going to get there are more married people who are going to die in God's eyes than it is homosexuals. I'm just letting y'all know according to the word, because y'all can point that homosexuality thing out. My thing is that on every other level, we never point out the things that we, like I tell people all the time, my stronghold is I don't forgive people that often. Like, I just don't. If I forgive you, you're very, very special. I don't forgive that often. And that's against God's word. You're not supposed to be an unforgiving person. I ain't there yet. I ain't there yet. Elias said we had prayers in schools too in the 90s. We grew up in that. It's one of the coaches why me and Morgan feel how we feel. Well, y'all had we had different type of prayer session because no one was praying for us like that.
Oh, so no, in the county that I'm in, and I worked in the school district. Like, I quit, like 7 or 8 years ago. But even now, there's still like led prayer here in Mississippi. And the county that I'm in is a lot more progressive than the rest of the state. So it still happens, unfortunately. But Mississippi is also very backwards.
Schools until high school. Yeah, so Elias, it shouldn't be taught, period. It shouldn't be taught, period, if that's the case. Like, I just think that if you're gonna, as a parent, like for me, that's what I'm pulling my kids out for. Now, sex education is what we had, where you taught the anatomy, right?
Our sex education was you're gonna get crabs and you're gonna die.
Right, gonorrhea,
if you have sex.
And stuff like that. Not like,
but then drug ed was
not none about it. I had gay people in my class that I would have never known were gay.
That was sex ed. But drug ed was, let me teach you how to make certain drugs. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
We didn't have home ec, but we had sex ed, there was no education in it. I had home ed and sex ed, but sex education was literally what you said. It was anatomy. It wasn't about how to have sex. Now, we didn't really have anatomy either. It was, if you have sex, you're gonna die. Like,
y'all had the clinical microbiology book where we showed you what herpes looked like. See, we had that too, but we did talk about like the proper like anatomy, proper cleaning, proper vaginal cleanings and stuff like that, bacteriosis and stuff like that. We talked about stuff like that, diseases and things like that, but we didn't talk about this is what, we didn't go into what it was, you know what I'm saying, like at all. And that's not, and I don't want my grandkids exposed to that. I want them to naturally discover it when they discover it and have those conversations with their parents and their parents alone, period. Mm-hmm. And if they can't have that conversation with their parents alone, they will find, my grandkids are taught to be very verbal, those people that they can have that conversation with. For me, it was my dad and not my mother. I can have those conversations with my dad, not my mother. For other people, it might not be nobody in the household. All parents wasn't open to having that conversation at all. But the damn place that I don't want any of that introduced to my family and my seeds is in a classroom. I want them to get math. I want them to get reading, all that other shit in the world, including what their grandparents doing. But my grandkids don't know that me and my husband have sex. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's none of their business. Now, I'm sure they understand that a mother, if their mother is here, I had sex with somebody to get their mother, here. And if, they're here, their mother has sex with somebody to get them here, based on the things that the world exposes them to. But how they get here is none of their business. They don't need to hear it. I don't do none of that. So I don't need nobody else taking that place to do it for us. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. Math, reading, arithmetics, science, that's what they should be learning in school. Anything else they can learn through their family and their family values. That's it. And that's how it's no confusion. Through my family and my family values, and we ain't having no confusion. I forgive everyone. I just forget them afterwards. Yeah, I don't do none of it. I don't. So I'm a person who I don't forget. That's my thing. When people say forgive and forget, my thing is they go together.
I'm not forgetting.
You saw my post the other day. No, I'm not forgetting, but I forget about you.
Yeah,
it's not forgiving.
I'll forgive, and we can be civil, but it's not ever going to be the same. See, no matter what you do.
I'm not civil. Don't fucking talk to me. Don't try to talk to me. Don't look at me too long, because I'm pissed that you looked at me too long and you triggered my other side. None of that. So that's me. Let me tell you something. My daughter's father, and my daughter is 28 years old. He understands exactly what that means. We ain't never had no conversation after she was about 2. Ain't no need to. I don't know his phone number. I ain't known his phone number since she was about 2. Y'all can find him if you want. Everybody knows him. Everybody can see him. He's friends with my entire family on social media. But don't you talk to me.
Right.
And he gets it. And I've seen him in public. And he respects that because he know I'm borderline crazy. Don't trigger me by trying to be cordial when you know I don't fuck with you. That goes for anybody out there you know I don't fuck with. Don't try. Don't try. Like y'all, some of y'all be on this internet playing gangster. Some of us are really gangster. And you need to check our resume. Don't try me if I don't talk to you. I don't care if we at a reptile show. I don't care where we at. If you know that I won't smile at you through a chat, don't look at me more than 30 seconds, because now you eyeballed me. I'll give you more than 10.
For like 30 seconds. Yeah, it's long. A little long. That's long.
That's a long eyeball. I'm going to give you 10. I know I lost weight. I cut my hair off. You might have to figure me out in 10 seconds. But once you realize it's me, turn your head before I jump across that table. And y'all know who y'all are. Thank you. Don't play with me. I make announcements when I cut you off. I'm
glad it's not me.
Nobody can say I cut you off and didn't tell you were cut off. So there's no confusion. I make a general announcement. I normally tell people close to you as well, so they don't try to bring a conversation of your name with me either. Because that'll trigger my other side. Keep telling y'all it's 2 sides to this shit, y'all. Don't do it. That side you don't want to do. We had the Webb Maryland Sex Eddy classes. Everything will kill you, including condoms. Right. If you misapplied. Remember the video? I think they did show what they would use the banana to show the proper way of applying a condom, and then use the stem to show it if you turn a condom. Like, it's just so much. They failed to teach is what a blue waffle was in the 80s.
Poor Bosa.
I can't. They should drop sex and religion. I agree. Right. Get back to civics.
We need like more economics being taught.
Government, so people like me will understand foreign affairs.
We're going to teach in my high school. We're going to teach you how to make certain drugs, but we're not going to teach you how to do your taxes.
Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, economics. teach people how to start investing as soon as they can and not wait until they get the first job. You know what I'm saying? Because if one of the things my husband is really good at is teaching that to his daughter. Like, if you got this is the amount of money you're gonna get every week or every 2 weeks, and this is what you should do with it. Like, I think that is like, if you don't have a parent that teach you that, that's totally missing school. Like, my parents was polar opposite. My dad was more like me. Like, we're going to get the money, make the money, and we're going to live. We're going to live our best life. Ain't going to be nothing we ain't seen or done. My mother was the one with the 800 credit score, very frugal, but keep the regular car and all that type of stuff. But when you look at the two, you realize my mother was the one that you should have mastered first. I'm not gangster. I'm backwoods, body quiet, always on guard. Shoot, I can't remember the 80s, Bosu. Yeah. No, I definitely I am a person that, like, you can't, I don't have that turn off switch. And I tell y'all, my husband makes me a better person. Y'all don't know how many times we had shows or something like that, or something occurs or something that Nicole without her husband would have turned over tables. But because my husband looks at me and it just makes me, I'm like a puppy, like, in that way. When he looks at me and he tells me it's not okay, it saves people all the time. But if he give me the head nod, that's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. Same thing for my mother. If my mother say, no, Nicole, that's one thing. But if my mother say, get that, that's it. It's no turning her off. And my daughter is the same way. So when my daughter say stuff to me like, I got so mad I blanked out, I can't even, like, say I don't comprehend, because I can comprehend very easily what she means. But that used to be her line. Jada would hit you with, I blanked out in a heartbeat. I did it, but I blanked out. I blanked out. What did Eli say?
Thank God for slime. Way to explode in there.
No, got triggered. No. Yeah, I'm telling you, Elias, it be many a times, or something I'll see on the internet that I want to be reactive to, and my husband be like, no. I'm telling you, he made me a better person. My wife keeps me calm. If she ain't around, best to bypass me with the bullshit. I mean, you need that calm in this storm. You need that one who, you know, is going to try to keep everybody out of jail. Elias, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Ask my siblings. It's really bad. And that's why I try not to go there. And listen, Elias, it's the crazy thing. It's rare that I have to go there with females. It's normally men. Like, men who annoys me to that. Like, men that I just want to punch them, like, just take to the jaw.
See, I get that. It's men and women, but with women, you say something and they're like, whatever. Men will sit there and argue. And I'm like, and that just makes it worse. So I could see where men would be worse at it. Somebody says something to me, and I'm like, all right, peace out, bye. But then I go say something to a man, they want to argue. Yeah, we can argue about it. I will win.
My sister, Eric, you remember this? I was perming my hair, y'all, and my sister was pregnant with her youngest son. And my nephew called me and said somebody was trying to jump my sister. Y'all, when I tell you, I got around there with perm still in my hair, pulled the truck up on the curb, knife, everything. It was about to go down, okay? Clear the air. Don't play with my family. Don't. And forgot I had perm in my hair. And at the end, my sister, who was a beautician at the time, says, girl, you still got perm in your hair. Your hair gonna fall out. Like, I had to wash the perm out at her house. I don't, like, it triggers, it's real bad. I know I seem like the sweetest thing, y'all, but it's bad. So I try not to let people take me there. It's the biggest hot and cold dynamic, right, Eric? I'll pray for you and kill you at the same time.
That's a good way to put it. I like that.
Too funny, right? The life of the party or the reason the party gets shut down. Which one? Or the funeral. or the funeral. It depends on where y'all gonna try me, because I'm not limited to funerals. Oh my God. But yeah, look, nephew, I be trying to tell these people in these streets, be like, look, I am not the typical. I am not the average. I'm the savage. And I just watch men play like little girls and not knowing that there's real females out here who would just yoke you up. And thank God for my husband. Hallelujah. 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 You say I look good. It's always the calm ones though. Like the ones who the rash. Because the other side is with my husband. I'm glad he's the calmer one, because he's probably the most destructive one, because he's silent too. Like he don't talk. Mm-hmm. He's a quiet assassinator. So, oh my goodness. But yeah, like so that's why I try not to get into positions, or if I see, I'll exit stage left real quick. But there's no one who can say, not one person who can say that I don't talk to this day, that I didn't tell you why we will never speak again. I always let you know. So Morgan, is never any confusion, because there will be a whole conversation. Like, Morgan, this is it. It's over. Elias, it is over. And Elias can tell anybody. Look, me and Elias go at it all the time in the background. No, that's my heart. So that's like having a little brother. So but you know, it's a difference. I'm not saying I can't disagree with people. I'm not saying that. Like, we can have we can have strong disagreements.
Yeah, we can fight. It's whatever. But
right.
If I'm done with you, you don't exist. You don't exist anymore.
Right. You'll never exist. Somebody can tell me that you died and expect a reaction. You're not going to get a reaction. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't cut people off. If I cut you off, you are the scum of life to me. Okay? It's only a handful of people I ever totally cut off. There are people who've done me totally wrong. Okay? That I still would talk to. I had an abusive ex-boyfriend from years ago that I saw recently at a party that I still had a conversation with, because I didn't hate him. You know, I understood, you know, right. I might have been the reason why he was a little abusive. You know what I'm saying? Like, as I'm older, I understand that I might not have been the best girlfriend. You know what I mean? So I don't hate him. But there's other people that don't dare. Yeah,
I get that. I've forgiven people for the most atrocious things, and then somebody else come along that I care a lot about, but they'll do something just so blatantly disrespectful, but it's stupid. It's something stupid, but it's the fact that they went out of their way to just be so disrespectful. And I'm like, you know what? You don't exist to me anymore. Bye.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I don't make this big, I'm different. I don't make this big announcement. I just block you and move on, and I'm done, whatever.
See, but that's so unfair, because then it triggers the person when they see
it don't matter. Their feelings, but they know, they will know, because they went out of their way to try to play me. Yes, because they thought they could. And that shit, I'm not doing that. So whatever feelings you have about being blocked or whatever, have fun with it, because I ain't gonna be around.
I'm out.
Matter to me.
Peace. Oh. Yeah, I have to let you know, because let me tell you what happens, and I've experienced this. If you don't tell the person and make it known to the people who are actually credible in that moment, they'll try to make it like it was you. And one thing I don't like is, I don't like for people to see, I do, because the one thing I'm protective of my reputation. That's why I'm so pure with it, Morgan. Like, no one can ever say that like when I met my husband, I remember him saying, "Oh, you're so beautiful, you're so sweet." This, and I said, "But I can be a bitch." I always left that open for him, so he knew that if he ever that bitch mode would show, because I never wanted to be like I switched up. No, I wanted you to know when I met you. Yes, I was sweet. I can be sweet. I can be a bitch too. So I think for me, that's why I'm so transparent with people exactly who I am and what you did or what you said or why, because I do a lot. I can't, and I know a lot of people don't care about reputation, but for me, my reputation is somewhat attached to my legacy. Because my father raised us that way. Like, what do other people think about you, not what you think about yourself? So if someone ever say I cursed them out, I want them to be able to say, because I did this. I don't want people to think I'm just so angry, just an angry.
You just cussed them out for no reason.
No, that's not who I am. You got to make me super. And it's not even, you can't even, you can make me mad. Dre has made me mad.
Really?
Yes.
That was sarcasm. Dre's good at making people mad.
From me. Dre has seen the other side, and he has shown his other side too. We had probably one of the worst conversations, but because we knew where each other was coming, like it was just like two brothers and sisters, but it was bad. It was like the worst conversation you can have with a brother or sister. Like some MFers, some go to hell, some all of that. But it was all love at the end of the day. But Dre has, that I would never forget that conversation. That's probably one of the worst curse outs to a man in this reptile community was Dre. But he cussed me out too.
I think he's used to that.
He cussed me out. We didn't speak for like 2 whole days at all. We didn't say one word to each other.
Oh my God.
But he got Nikki in rare form. And I got...
You see, I don't know. If everybody looks at me and thinks she's like...
No, don't look for trouble.
Well, people look at me and they're like, oh, she's sweet, whatever. So if I do get to the point where I just lose my shit, where I'm like throwing things and cussing people out, it's like, okay, what happened here? Because this isn't... Something's not right.
We're not buying all of this sweet stuff. Anybody who will go pick up a water moccasin, look for alligator now has an edge, okay? We already know somebody like that is a little off at any given time, okay? No one is thinking.
I'm the silent type, but that anger is.
And those are the ones that I always say, the ones you don't hear or see coming. Those are the worst, because it's like Carrie. Before you know it, your neck chopped off or something like
that. That's exactly what it's like. And it goes from
shit.
If you see my whole demeanor change in like a split second, you've got a solid like 10 seconds to recourse.
But that's why
we're about to have a problem.
I love the boldness in your tongue. That's one of the reasons. Like I said, I love. Like even how we challenge each other sometimes, like that's. But see, that's the type of people I like, though. I love the Eliases of the world. You know, I love the people who don't have to agree with you, but can still have a daggone passionate conversation.
Like Hugh was, we were going back and forth with Hugh, and all 3 of us were coming from different points. I like that. I like being able to see, oh, okay, somebody doesn't agree with what I'm saying, let's talk about it, instead of saying, oh yes, I agree,
right.
We can have conversation with different points of view. I like that.
For me, the people who are closest to me are those people who I always say shit on me to clean me up. Like if I want the true answer about myself, like say if I'm mad at Slim about something, and I don't talk like to people about when I'm mad at Slim. Like I can't call his sister, I can't call my sisters or whatever. But if I really need a reality check, I will call my best friend Jamal. And Jamal is going to give it to you greasy. Like he'll listen, won't say a word, get all the details, and be like, "That's stupid."
Mm-hmm.
Like,
those are the friends that I look for. If I call you and you, instead of just agreeing with everything that I say, if you can say, "Hey, you fucked up. You're stupid for that. This is what happened." If somebody can tell me that, okay, I'm going to respect your opinion a lot more. I'm going to trust your advice instead of just somebody agreeing just to agree.
And send
me down the wrong way.
That's what people don't realize. You need those real people in your life. Right. Like even in like the reptile community, there's different people I will contact for different things. But if like I feel like if I need a petty check, I will hit Keys in a heartbeat, because Keys is so unpetty. Like people come for him all the time, and he is so unpetty. Like, but I do also know it's a side of him that can go there. So if he tell me out, I'm not, you right. Oh, then it's it. Y'all got Pat Betty because he's not confirmed it. But I know at the same time, he won't say you're not right. But if he doesn't say you're right, I know that it means that I'm not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know he's not endorsing my insanity at that point.
Yeah.
But you got to have people.
If they say, well, let's look at it this way. I'm like, okay, right. I'm wrong.
I get it. But that person is just this, and this. And it makes you see a different perspective in that person type of thing. Where, I can only speak for me. When I'm upset, it's hard for me to see perspectives. That's why I'm a person who normally can't make a final decision until I calm down. Because I shouldn't make passionate decisions. Like, because I'm one of them people who will just make a whole, like, we selling a house, put a for sale sign out and everything out front. Because I was upset in a moment. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I could do that. And I was like 38 weeks pregnant when we decided to buy our first house. 38 weeks pregnant, and just woke up one day and was like, you know what? Let's buy a house. But I can do that, but I'm going to have a hard time deciding what I want for breakfast. Like, I can make the really big decisions in a snap, moment, but small decisions, ones that really don't matter, I really just can't. I need someone to be like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Well, I found, like, because being in this retired and being in a position where I had to make decisions for people all the time, and I feel so bad for my husband. I don't want to make decisions no more. Like, it's whatever. Okay. What you think? Like, I do not, like, I don't know what it is, like, but that part of my brain turned off or something. But like, I
make decisions for myself, my kids. I make decisions at work, when I was teaching in the classroom. And at this point now, I'm just like, I need someone else to take control before I absolutely come.
You can have it, and I'll follow.
Yes.
Like,
I need, my mind needs a break.
I agree. I totally agree.
But don't come in my reptile room making decisions. Don't come in here and do nothing.
At 38 weeks at that, Elias. 38 weeks at that.
Right. We closed when that baby was like 3 weeks old. We moved. I had a 3-week-old. My oldest son was about to turn 3. And we moved. I'm the only one that drives in the house. It was a wild time.
I totally get it. All right, y'all. So we're gonna wrap it up. Where is Darren? Darren, you let us go 30 minutes over. Him too. He must be off. He must be on vacation today. We went 30 minutes over our hour.
We covered a lot of topics this morning.
Yeah, we even went politics on y'all. We never do politics.
Right.
I'm just saying, can someone call your boy and tell him we appreciate all that he's done for this country? It is time to lay it down. You ain't got to lay it down, but just lay that down. Go play golf all day. Just scoot around.
Go up your golf game.
Go on 30-day cruises and shit. Do rich people stuff. Like, you don't have to work. I'm sure your retirement is.
We need to talk about vacation ideas on a podcast, not just like
oh yeah, we can do
Florida
that.
Or something.
It could be next topic. Look, I love a good vacation conversation.
Right.
Yes.
I can talk about that all day, and it's not going to be all your normal stuff.
Wait a minute, Darren said, look, today I learned about sex and politics.
Sex, politics, euthanasia, schools.
Love you. That is so funny. Right. This one's a little bit, what was that? Those extra shenanigans. This just shenanigans today. This shenanigans, but I love it.
We talked about euthanasia for all of 5 minutes.
Right. Then we went to presidents and foreign affairs. What's been taught in school? Oh, great. But it was a great conversation. And again, like I always say, I love having the different viewpoints in a chat and being able to have civil conversations. And no one in this chat gets abusive with each other. Thank you, Lord.
I love it. It was a good episode.
Went across the grocery, cannot afford to look, but he can afford to retire. Dang it.
If anyone can afford to
so
retire
we've done
here,
one, like we haven't done that we haven't done a best vacation period, but we should do that one. See, I like that. We can do that next week. Best vacation and what to do with animals when leaving. Yeah, I think that's a good topic. That's it. So we got a topic for next week. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. I'm getting ready to head to the gym. Morgan, have a wonderful day, my queen.
You too. I will see y'all later.
All righty. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us.